Okay, what's up guys? I know I've mentioned that we're going to get into the nuts and bolts of the training program, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. I think rather than getting into the whole program and then having people out there potentially try to do exactly what it is that I'm doing, what I'm going to do is run through the essence of the program and what the general concept is. So what we're going to do is go to the old dry erase board back there and write out an example through just one section of my body. So again, I guess for those of you guys who are just tuning in, we're doing full body 4 to 5 times a week. And I think, again, people think full body, I think either powerlifter or a beginner or someone who's just trying to get in good shape, but that's not my goal. None of those are my goals. My goal is to put on as much muscle as possible. So let's dive into exactly how we're doing this, and it's going to make a lot more sense in a bit. First of all, there's 3 different kinds of days. We're going to have a heavy day, which for me is going to be in the 10 to 6 rep range. And then we're going to have a light day, 15 to 12. Usually I would write 6 to 10, 12 to 15. I goofed with the first one, so I just continued that trend so it wouldn't look weird. It's really annoying to me too. But light, 15 to 12. And then we have the Walden Farms rep range. If this is light, then that's like 0 calorie. Walden Farms rep range, which is going to be a bad joke, but then also 20 to 15 reps. And basically they just cycle. So we have a heavy, a light, and a really light, really intensive day, and then we come back up to heavy. So what I'm going to do is give you guys an idea of how this works based off one particular body part. Today's Monday, so it works out. We're going to use chest as an example of how a lot of you guys already kind of take a lot of these concepts. It's just kind of smashed up into one day, especially the bros. The bros will be able to relate to this, and maybe there'll be some bros out there that will be like, wow, I can see the perks in having in hitting body parts more frequently. Ooh, so it looks like a bro chest day pretty much. If a bro kind of understood that you can definitely take it too far in just one day. So what we're doing now, same rep ranges, but now we're putting movements to them. So day 1, like my big bread and butter movement, is going to be a bench press. We're going to keep that in the 10 to 6 rep range, right? And then the second movement would be a dumbbell incline in this rep range, and then third, finally, a cable fly in the 15 to 20 rep range. Typically, the way you look at this, and you're like, wow, that's a full chest day right there. I think, say 4 sets of this, of the 10 to 6, and then 3 sets in the 12 to 15 and 15 to 20. That's a pretty complete day, and that wouldn't sound too crazy, but what I'm doing that's a bit unconventional is that I'm giving this its own day, this its own day, and then this its own day. And first of all, I think first thing that comes to mind is, say if you do this on Monday, do this on Wednesday, is that you're still going to be potentially sore and a little beat up from that. You work with higher frequency training programs, and you don't have too much variety in your movements, you will see that over time you just become less and less sore. I'm more likely at this point to get sore from a kickball game than like a really heavy lower body session. So I really don't get sore, and what it does allow me to do is, because I'm giving each one of these movements their own day, it improves the quality of the work. And that's usually how I scatter it for each body part. So for example, the big compound movement that like I guess you could call it a compound, but with some, it's a little bit easier or more practical to use in the, or more appropriate in the higher rep ranges would be the second movement, and then finally something that perhaps would only make sense in the higher rep ranges, like a cable fly. So like for legs, let's use that as an example. This could be a front squat for me, and then this is a leg press, and then these are leg extensions. So yeah, this is how we're scattering the rep ranges throughout the week, and then this is how we're picking our movements. So kind of what you see here, that lower body example, that's how we're doing it on every single day. So now that we have the rep ranges all sorted out, let's go over our progression schemes. Here we go. So yeah, a training system without a direction is kind of like when that person in the gym will come to you and ask you for advice on their fat loss diet, and you know, you ask them, so what's your diet like, and they give you an answer like, I'm eating healthy. You know, it's kind of like, well, and so what? But like, is there a caloric deficit there? Are we heading, are we trying to progress towards something? Is there a general direction, or is it just like sets and reps? That's a very, very incomplete system. So let's look at how we're progressing within these rep ranges, which is going to be, it's going to be pretty auto-regulated at this point. We are not using percentages for these right here. Not yet anyways. I think I'm going to have to get stuck at some point, and then I will. So it's very simple. For the 10 to 6 rep range, basically, 1 week is going to be all 10s, 1 week is going to be all 8s, 1 week all 6, and then we repeat it again. Hopefully, maybe we can add a little bit of weight. Maybe we just do it with slightly better form. You know, maybe like the perceived effort on the last rep was a little better this time. So it doesn't always have to be weight, but we're trying to hopefully progress each go around. And sometimes you didn't even progress on each go around, especially in my case. Maybe I just progressed on the 8s, but the 10s were totally like and the 6s were a bit disappointing. But generally, you just want to see a trend where you're progressing. It's 6 weeks like this. 1 week again, 1 week 10s, 1 week 8s, 1 week 6. Go back to 10s, started again, and then we deload. The 7th week is a deload. That's a little less frequent than I typically do, but because a lot of this stuff is in the higher rep ranges, I tend to recover really well, especially in these rep ranges. My deload is every 7th week right now. So again, in the heavier stuff, this is how we do it. With the lighter stuff, pretty simple. It's going to be, so let's just say we have 3 sets of 12. We're going to try to add a rep here, you know, a rep there, until we fill up all slots with 15, and then it's time to go up. And you know, some movements will take longer than others. I'm not trying to add a rep every week. Sometimes when it's there, I'll go for it. When it isn't, you know, I won't. Sometimes you take a step back. But again, the general direction is we're trying to turn all these 12s into 15s. This rep range is basically the exact same thing, but in the higher rep range. And this work also gets deloaded every 7th week. So yeah, that is basically how we do it. So that is it. So again, guys, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Not giving you the whole training program, but I am showing you basically what is like the backbone concept behind it. I think more than anything, I just wanted to have a lot of fun. I wanted to, I like the full body stuff. For me personally, one thing that it does is when I move every single joint every single day, I just feel good. Like all these little aches and pains that tend to roll around from time to time at this point, they're hardly there at all. So I feel great, I feel healthy, I'm excited when I go in there and train, and I love the fact that it's pretty auto-regulated, because again, some movements on me will progress faster than others. Other ones I'm just like, you know what, let's just hit 12s for a very long time, and then finally add a rep there, and so on and so on. So I love the auto regulation aspect of it, and I'm having fun, which is super important. I think I will definitely run this until the end of the year, and then we'll assess how much progress it has given me, because at that point I will have just 6 more months left of off season. If I see, like, you know, I think you need to adjust something, modify something here, or perhaps scratch the plan, I will, but I'm gonna give it a good 6 months to see how I like it, to see how I progress, and of course the bottom line being, have I improved? Yeah, so that is it, guys. Leave it there. Hope this was informative. Maybe the whole full body thing isn't for you, but maybe you took something from here that like made sense, and that you could apply to your own training system.